I feel like we should have something new. I don't know.
What about just IrrElephant radio?
I quite liked IrrElephant Radio. It's a bit of a relic from our past.
Then let's stick with it. Let's do that. Let's stick with our
It also
past.
saves me having to make a new intro.
Are you going to keep that Hideaway one?
I'm thinking of doing a synth version of Pasadena. But
Maybe we could get like a cleaner, crisper version of that Hideaway thing that isn't like red writing.
But the whole 80s synth pop was kind of the point. The first thing we have to do is someone has to introduce it.
Oh yeah, Archie's done it the first two
I think we
times.
shouldn't break with tradition.
So we are called IrrElephant Radio again.
We're calling it IrrElephant Radio, yes, Archie.
Glad you've worked out how to say it.
IrrElephant Radio.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the reboot of IrrElephant Radio featuring the all-new, more powerful than ever, upgraded and superior band, Marlow. Hello everybody.
Hello, Archie.
Archie, that was amazing, mate. Again, as always.
This
Good.
really brings
Oh,
us into
phrasing.
the first area of discussion, which is what have we been doing since last May, June? Quite a few things.
Yeah, man.
Who wants to explain the name change situation?
Very corporate, we couldn't possibly expose that
It was
information.
a business decision from the board, top down, in order to synergize with our clients. Well, we've changed our name to Marlow. We're going to get on to why we chose Marlow later on because it's a very interesting subject. We signed a contract with Nick Stewart and Associates, the best management firm in London, if not the world. We released a track very soon after changing our name. Different Lives. Check out Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, click the link right here. And then we had Christmas. Archie stayed in the shed.
How was it? Was it okay?
Yeah, it's good. I felt, the nativity was happening again in 2020. I just really like my shed an awful lot, and I thought in order to get into the Christmas spirit, I'd lock myself in it for a little while.
And then we had New Year. And then it was January. And we decided that it was time to release a new track. February the 11th, we released Pasadena, which is our new single. Go and check out Pasadena. We'll be answering some questions on that in the question segment. I've got a bicycle on my mug. And it's there you go. It's a charming little, it's a reference to both of our previous singles. Do comment with other modes of transport.
What, like trains?
Yeah, just comment with modes of transport. If you were a mode of transport, public or private, what would you be?
A U-boat or a Zeppelin, I feel like they're both very strong modes of transport, and they get you from A to B in great charismatic style. You don't see too many of them anymore.
Joe, what about you? What kind of form of transport would you be?
I'd be a space rocket.
What? Why'd you be a space rocket?
Get off this rock.
Freddie, I think you'd be a hovercraft because you're incredibly difficult to manage.
I'd be a Fiat Punto.
Yeah, I can see that.
Exactly, yes. But I can't put my finger on why you'd be a Fiat.
I did have a Fiat Punto myself once.
I get a very strong red Hyundai vibe from Joe.
You do now.
Joe's just really high on all the time.
So let's travel out the way. We can move on from that.
Now onto the weather.
Oh, what would you be if you were a weather? What would you be?
What would you be if you were a weather?
I would be I'd be one individual little what are those hard things that fall from the sky? Hail. I'd be a little hail.
Can I just bring up an important point I think we need to discuss? So I feel like as the podcast is starting out, and we are back, obviously because of COVID, our own pockets have been a bit short. As a band, we've been struggling to make money. I feel like we need to create a sponsor.
My pockets are really empty. Look.
Your pockets are really empty. Look at those pockets. They are really empty. So I have a sponsor for this week. Okay, you ready for this week's sponsor? It is water.
Water.
Freddie, do you need a drink?
What? Oh my god. It's so dry.
Have some water. Archie, do you need a shower?
Yes.
Well, clean yourself with some... Joe.
Liam, where's the water? Liam, where's
Hang
the water,
on.
man?
Hang on. Get the water, Seb.
I've got the water here, guys.
Brilliant. Oh, yes. Joe, do you want to go for a swim in a pool?
Not particularly.
Well, use some water.
Liam, do this, and then sponsored by, and then Seb can then do a...
Do you want me to say this week's sponsor again, or do you want me to just go...
Say this. Irrelevant Radio, sponsored by water, and then make up a tagline on the spot.
Is your tongue really dry? You can wet your tongue with a bit of this.
No, that's got too many connotations.
Do your teeth get really dusty? What?
Are you a fish? You will literally die without water. Listen to Marley.
Water. It's free to use. Well, I've got a whole list of, made up sponsors here we can use for the next podcast. So if you really want to sponsor us, please do. We will definitely promise you exposure of 20 people, including my mum. I mean, that's worth its value. I'm just saying, it's got a bit of money behind it.
If we get 3 people to drink water off the back of this, then that's great business for water, because water must be struggling.
Put a comment and a selfie of you drinking water to show that this, this advertisement here has worked in its best interest.
It's time for our new segment, Marlo Answers Your Questions.
Marlo answers your questions.
Right, are we ready for some questions?
Yes, let's fire, Seb. Fire me some questions.
Yeah, man, hit me up with a cue.
I couldn't be more excited.
Right, the first question is, how did you guys all meet?
Tinder.
Yeah, that's it. Next question.
Me and Joe met in a big room and decided we liked the same music, and then we found Liam, and Liam decided he knew Archie from a while back, and he also knew a person called Max. We then formed a band called IrrElephant Radio, and we released an EP. Max then left and joined the army. Seb joined for a week and then got on a cruise because he didn't like it. Seb then came back after getting deployed for being dyslexic.
Deployed.
He sent off with a boat with no oars. It was a weird time for him. He then came back and he said, I've got no job. I want to join your band because I feel like we'll make no money together. Keep going as Elephant Radio. We changed the name because Elephant Radio was too long, had too many letters in it, so we decided to make it shorter.
We also knew we had to think of a name which Freddie could spell, so we knew Marlo was something which Fred could spell, so we chose his surname.
That's actually very true. Our first single was released under the title Elephant Radio. Brilliant. Well, I don't know who actually sent us that question, but thank you.
That was an excellent answer, that was.